Well, what is going on, my friends? Million here with you. MILLIAN for millionspeaks.com, but also for a brand new one called NeuroVoiceSystem.com, which I'll leave on the screen. You can go check it out when you have a moment. A new program that I've developed, just about ready to launch, got stuff going for it. We will get to that later on. That's not what our video is about today. But if you want to get a preview and see what we're doing, it's kind of neat. Well, what a week. What a 3-week period, I should say. Maybe 3 to 4 even, because there's been some stuff going on that I want to say is pretty life-changing. After going through this last couple weeks, I am definitely not the same. I'm actually much better, much happier, and I will get into it later in further videos, but I'll start by telling you this. For the last year, I have been trying to develop out this whole new area of my business, which involves the vocal coaching and put out books, and have been working with vocalists on helping them get their voice where they want it to be in terms of vocal health, sounding good, not getting hoarse, not burning yourself out. That's basically what I coach on: vocal resilience, vocal health, vocal maintenance. And as I have been part of this, an organization that I joined over this last year was an organization that's a trade association for speakers. And there's been the element of public speaking. Now, in my career over the last 30 years, I've done basically everything: radio, podcast, broadcast, etc. And I have done a good bit of public speaking in my early days. And so I got away from it because I was in voiceover and audio production and into the coaching now. But being part of this organization, you start to see people doing these speaking engagements, and it's very interesting. Now, I'm going to tell you that much like radio, when you get up on stage and you're connecting with an audience, that gets in your blood, man. It really does. It gets up in there and it just starts like percolating. And you start really wanting to be there. It's addictive in many ways. And so for the longest time, people would say, well, Million, are you doing this? You doing that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not really a public speaker so much as I'm just coach. I just want to help others. And so I decided that we're going to sort of take the plunge. I needed to do something a little different. I needed to make a splash of some kind. And as I'm getting into this area of the business, this is a foreign world to me, the public speak, like the formal professional public speaking world, where it's like there's presentations, there's keynotes, there's breakout sessions, there's workshops. I'm like, I don't know what the hell any of this means. I have no clue what I'm doing here. Well, have you been prospecting, Million? I don't know. What do I got, a pickaxe? I'm looking for gold somewhere? I don't know. My prospect. I'm figuring this out, man. And so as this whole couple weeks has been playing out, I had to start figuring something out. And I said, okay. Now, back around Christmas time, there was this idea of, through this trade association, a contest that was coming up, which was a public speaking contest, and it had to do with storytelling. So I thought to myself, okay, and a couple years ago, I mentioned on previous videos that I've lost my voice to a vocal cord condition for a couple-year period, had to rehab it and fight it and get it back, and I had to do something to, get myself healthy again. And so I was going to tell a story about how I lost it, how I got it back, and just kind of like, I guess, the resilience part of it. And so I said, okay, so I set out to do this. And that was one speech on a Saturday. Now, as it turned out, I figured we're just going to put that in there. I start getting another request from a university that I'm affiliated with. They said, we're having this media, it's called MediaCon. They had this media conference for students that are interested in pursuing communications careers. Would you come speak to us? We'll give you a 60-minute panel and you just come tell us about career and whatever you want to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. As my friend Jimmy Lee once said, if they give you a microphone, you better take it. So sage advice right there. And that was the second thing on the list, which was maybe 3 or 4 days after that. So now I get 2 speeches to prepare for. That one was a Zoom call. So I was initially in discussions with them to get out to, it's in New Mexico. I was trying to get my way out there. But for whatever reason, it was just their budget thing. They couldn't make it. And they're like, would it be okay? Could you just do Zoom for us? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm happy to help. Then, funny how you look back and things work themselves out. Like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You have to look backwards. So something weird happened. And I started putting in for, you're familiar with the phrase TED Talks. Well, I started thinking about it. A couple of the people that I coached along the way did TED Talks, and I helped them prep for that and get their voice ready for it. And they both did phenomenal in this last year. And it sort of inspired me. And I was like, I kind of want to know more. Let's see what it is. And I could probably do this, yada, yada. I get about a month earlier, I get an email that says, "You've been accepted. Your TED Talk is this. Here's our subject." And I'm like, oh my goodness, this just happened. So the way it worked out was kind of cool because over this period of time, I had the storytelling competition. And then like 4 or 5 days later, I had MediaCon. And then the day after that, I had my first TED Talk, which was really, really cool. That was my favorite of this whole bunch. And when I tell you that the last 2 weeks have been exhausting, I am so tired. Well, I'm not anymore. I finally did get some rest, but I was so tired and run down, especially with the TED Talk, because that was a whole, I'll explain that later. You got to stay tuned for that. But what I'm really, I don't know, I'm in a funny place now. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that get back on stage, you start talking to people, you start connecting, and it's like, oh boy, do I want to start doing this again? Do I want to start being up on the stage? Because here's the thing, 20 years earlier in my life, I love being center of attention. And whenever you're in a crowd-facing industry such as music or performance or acting or anything like that, let's just say egos are everywhere. They fly all over the place. And, you meet some wonderful people, you meet some real frickin' beauties. But at the same time, it's like you have to keep yourself in check, which is something I always try to do. I don't like to be center of attention in the same way that I used to. But when I was up on stage speaking to people and there's that connection that you get with people, like an authentic, real thing, and I'm like, oh, this might be good. So the bug might have bit me, and I'm sort of, the stage is calling. She's calling me back. And I don't know if I'm up for this or not. Just saying. But the cool part is that if you jump in and you try something out that you're hesitating about, it's amazing what comes out of it. I was just going for one contest to try things out. 3 speaking engagements popped up in that week. Now, leading up to the first storytelling speech, I actually got a cold, got bronchitis, and started to lose my voice. That's fun, especially for someone that's been through, that has a vocal cord condition and has been through serious voice loss. It hits extra hard. So not only did I spend about 2 weeks just gunning through all this, but at the same time had to rehab my voice, make sure I was functioning properly. So when I tell you exhaustion, and the TED Talk, I'll just give you a quick preview. I went for the dress rehearsal the day before and it bombed, man. It just did not land. I went home that night, redid the whole speech, landed it the next day, and life-changing is all I could tell you. So I just wanted to pop on here just to let you know, I don't do videos often, but when I do, I want to start stripping stuff down here. I want to start getting away from all the fancy editing and all the pictures that I did. I know it's what you're supposed to be doing, but I just want to have conversations with you. I just want to talk to you. I just want to share what's going on. And so the next series of videos, I'm going to do a whole bunch coming up, just telling you about everything and the lessons I learned. But I just wanted to intro it that we're going to call it Speak Week. So this is Speak Week. The saga begins. All right. So what I'd like for you to do is make sure you subscribe to my video. Make sure you follow, ring the bell, like whatever platform you're on. Do it, whatever crap you got to do to follow me. Make sure you do that. And make sure you continue to check out these videos because I will share. I will tell you I don't have all the answers, but I will do my best to share what I do know. And if I don't have the answers, I'll try to get them for you. But leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. My knowledge is limited in this field, but we are learning and we are figuring it out and we got things planned. So in the meantime, make sure you check out millionspeaks.com, MILLIAN, millionspeaks.com. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'm going to run out of here. We'll get to the next one very soon. Stay tuned for the storytelling story. You're going to like this one. All right, guys, Million out. See you soon.